10-speed and brown shoe won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to The Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today's show is all about Better Off Dead. Whew, baby, we should be doing a One Crazy Summer show today. It's like 110 degrees here in sunny, hellish Southern California.
Hot. It's going to be hot for a long time.
Thanks for the weather report. Yeah, it's a sunny 110 degrees here in California.
Might still be 110 degrees by the time the One Crazy Summer episode happens.
We're all melting here. Be sure to turn on your air conditioning and drink lots of water and hydrate. Okay, and here is Starship with We Built This City.
Take yourself back to 1985.
Yeah.
January 7th, Janet Jackson files for divorce from singer James DeBarge 4 months into a secret marriage.
Ooh, and that was the merging of the Jacksons and the DeBarges, two of the greatest musical families. Yeah,
DeBarge was a big thing too.
DeBarge, you remember DeBarge?
Yeah, no. I remember DeBarge. Yeah. I didn't realize he was part of a family.
Oh yeah, that DeBarge was a family like the Jackson Five. They just didn't number themselves.
I didn't know. I just know James DeBarge.
Yeah, and there's also the other DeBarge that did the solo DeBarge. They were more like the
I thought that was him. Okay, never mind.
No, this guy was from DeBarge.
Oh.
I just want to keep saying DeBarge. It's like DeVry, the DeBarge school of.
He was like 3 years older than her, and they started dating when she was like 16 and got married when she turned 18. And she says she has gone on record saying it was the most stressful time of her life.
Yeah. Well,
because no one could know about it. And yeah. June 15th, Studio Ghibli, the animation studio behind beloved animated classics like My Neighbor Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service, is founded in Tokyo.
Nice.
Yeah.
And they all rode in on like these giant houses on turtles. That's how they built this factory.
Weird, furry birds.
Yeah. They have footage of it being built. It's spectacular.
Yeah, Miyazaki himself is actually an animated person. I don't know if you knew this. He's not a real person.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I mean, he's real, but he's animated.
He's really animated.
July 19th, New Hampshire teacher Krista McAuliffe is selected as the first person to go into space under the Teacher in Space project and designated to ride aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger.
You had to put that one in, huh?
Better Off Dead.
Oh, man. Oh, too soon. Too soon. It's back to school time,
I did
too.
have to put it back in there. I know. I'm sorry.
I get it, but
I'm
yikes.
Sorry. I know. Well, the thing is I found out she was from New Hampshire. I thought she was from Oklahoma because Phoebe told me that they named her elementary school after her. And I was like,
a lot of elementary
I just
schools.
assumed she was from the area.
She's like a martyr teacher, you know.
Yeah. It was an awful time. It was awful.
Yeah, let's relive that horrible day of infamy.
Okay, look, man. The movie was all about dark comedy.
Well, yeah, I get it. We're bringing the audience down to the nadir so we can pop them back up with the funny.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Good job.
August 23rd, Better Off Dead is released in theaters.
Better Off Dead. Think about you.
Yeah, Elizabeth Daly's so amazing.
Better Off Dead. Without you.
Then something without you. Yeah. So I like that you don't really get the words totally. That's great. It doesn't matter. We all understood. Better Off Dead starts with the writer and director Savage Steve Holland.
SSH, baby.
SSH. He received the nickname Savage from kicking a kid in the teeth while playing soccer as a child.
Yeah. Bullying was rewarded in the 70s, and it's like you would get respect for hurting people. I remember I told the story about when I beat that bully Jack with my metal lunchbox to the point where he ran away crying.
Yeah.
That was a horrifying attack, but I got mad respect after that.
He grew up in Connecticut, was an avid skier. He studied animation at the California Institute of the Arts, where one of his student projects in 1980, Going Nowhere Fast, was exhibited at the Museum of Modern Art show Tomorrowland, Kyle Arts in Moving Pictures.
Impressive. And strangely, this sounds a little bit like a character in the movie.
Yeah, most of Better Off Dead is autobiographical of Savage Steve Holland. In high school, Holland's girlfriend really did break up with him. She really did start dating the captain of the ski team, and he really did contemplate suicide.
I went to the garage and put an extension cord on a pipe, and I'm on a garbage can, and I'm thinking, should I do this? Maybe it isn't a good idea. Anyway, it was a plastic garbage can, and my weight just like crushed through it, and I fell. And the pipe broke, and it starts pouring water everywhere, and I'm basically in a garbage can drowning, and my mom comes in and starts yelling at me for breaking a pipe, which is, what any mom would do, so I start writing down stupid ways to kill yourself that would fail after that, and put them in a sort of a diary, and that diary kind of became Better Off Dead.
Holland picked up an 8mm camera and started making moody, depressing videos showcasing his broken heart.
Ugh.
When showing, yeah, exactly. When showing his films to his friends, it had the opposite effect. They thought they were comedies and couldn't stop laughing at his videos.
Yeah, because there's nothing more ridiculous than teen angst, except trying to express it.
I would 100% be one of those laughing, I would be thinking it was a joke.
Well, same. Oh, the poor kid.
But, he realized that he had a talent for that, so,
Good for him for pivoting instead of actually killing himself for being misunderstood, yes.
Holland wrote the script for Better Off Dead and storyboarded the entire project before ever selling it.
That's when your drawing comes in handy.
That is true. It's impressive when you go and show people your drawings. He knew exactly how he wanted the film to look, including the animated and claymation sequences.
Nice.
Henry Winkler was actually instrumental in getting this film made because of his connection to John Cusack.
Hey, I'm the Fonz.
In the early 1980s, Savage Steve Holland's short film, My 11-Year-Old Birthday Party, played at the Los Angeles Film Festival. Winkler saw the film and took a liking to Holland.
Hey, I like your film. You're pretty cool. Have you seen it?
No.
Neither have I.
No, I don't know if it's available anywhere.
It might be on one of the DVDs, like a special.
Oh, you know what? It might be. Actually, now that you say that, that sounds familiar.
Because, our least favorite director in the world, Brett Ratner, his award-winning film, What Happened to Mason Reese, is on one of the special editions of the...
Oh, yeah. With, Rush Hour or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. John Cusack was cast as Lane Meyer, the sad sack.
Hey, Lane.
Savage Steve Holland.
You're a pig.
Cusack made his acting debut in the 1983 movie Class. Class was a dramedy directed by Louis John Carlino, starring Rob Lowe, Jacqueline Bisset, Cliff Robertson, Joan Cusack, and Alan Ruck.
Yeah, so Class is about two kids who basically bang each other's moms.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry to be so crass with my description.
We're bringing the comedy back.
But yeah, I think the whole thing is they're supposed to seduce each other's moms, but one of it works too
they were
well,
having
and they're
a competition.
Something like that. It was stupid prep school thing with pretties.
Sounds awesome.
And these beautiful women.
Well, that would make sense with Rob Lowe and Jacqueline Bisset.
Yeah, and I think Jacqueline Bisset was his mom. I'm not
really?
sure. I mean, it would, because they kind of look alike.
Was Joan Cusack the other mom?
Joan Cusack was a kid back then. You forget she was a little girl.
I know, she was in her early 20s. She was fantastic, don't get me wrong.
But yeah, I mean...
Yeah, but so Class is a weird...
It's weird. It's worth saying. It's just one of those weird kind of pseudo-sex comedies that came out back then.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
That was kind of... it was controversial and a little racy, but if you look at it now, it's sort of quaint and a little bit uncomfortable.
Right. So in addition to being Lowe's second film released 4 months after The Outsiders, Joan Cusack's third film, and Alan Ruck's second film, it also marked the film debuts of Andrew McCarthy, Virginia Madsen, and Casey Shemechko.
Is that how you say his name?
Semechko.
Yeah.
Semachko. That's what it is.
Shemachko, right?
I think it's Semachko.
Semachko? Yeah, we love him from
3 O'Clock High.
Watch. Yeah, watch it.
Watch it. Stare at the screen while you listen to it.
Listen to our 3 O'Clock High episode. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch it now.
Underrated gem of the 80s.
Totally fits in with, if you want to do a great double feature.
Oh, yeah.
The best would be Better Off Dead and One Crazy Summer.
Sure.
It's perfect.
But 3 O'Clock High definitely fits into that.
With either one. So,
for his second role, Cusack was cast in John Hughes' debut 16 Candles as the nerdy nerd.
The two nerds that got put in the trunk.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, what are you doing? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hey.
After that, Cusack was in Grandview, USA, a 1984 dramedy directed by Randall Kleiser and starring
Jamie Lee Curtis, Patrick Swayze, C. Thomas Howell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Carol Cook, Ramon Bieri, Joan Cusack, M. Emmett Walsh, Michael Winslow, Troy Donahue, and Steve Dahl.
I find it interesting because I've literally never heard of this movie.
I have. It used to play all the time.
Oh, was it one of those that
cable?
Yeah.
I know I've seen it. I cannot for the life of me remember anything about it except for the picture on the front, which was, I think, like a trailer park with C. Thomas Howell or something. I think C. Thomas Howell was kind of the main guy, I'm thinking.
Oh.
But strangely enough, a lot of these guys were in Red Dawn.
Yeah, exactly.
And are we talking Michael Winslow?
Yes. Yeah, he did have a career before Police Academy.
Was he a voice guy in this? I don't remember.
I don't know.
It'd be weird if he was like the sheriff or something, or
he was just the neighbor.
Like this was the movie that he got hit in the face, and somehow because of what happened to his lips and teeth, he's able to make the most amazing noises ever. It's like an origin story of Michael Winslow.
It's like that pitcher movie, the Rookie of the Year or whatever, where he breaks his arm and then can throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
That is loosely based on the Michael Winslow story.
Yeah. Kicked in the face by a horse, and suddenly he's the greatest voiceover actor. Cusack caught his big break by being cast in 1985's The Sure Thing, co-starring Daphne Zuniga, directed by Rob Reiner and produced by Henry Winkler.
Such a charming movie. We're going to do the reason why we picked these movies. And, by the way, we added an extra movie because we didn't realize there's an extra week in this month. So there's a bonus Cusack-y, Hot Pursuit.
Yeah.
Which adds, because it's another wacky one. What we want to save The Sure Thing for like the romantic Cusack.
Because it doesn't quite fit in with these other movies.
It goes better with Say Anything and, more of his mainstream
kind of
romantic
dramedies.
comedies.
Yeah. Henry Winkler suggested to Savage Steve Holland to check out Cusack in The Sure Thing.
Hey, Steve! You got to check out John. Hey, dynamite.
After seeing the movie, Holland thought that Cusack was perfect for the lead role. He actually had to fight to get Cusack cast, as the studio didn't think he was much of a leading man based on his nerdy turn in 16 Candles.
We've just seen him play a nerd, so that's all we can see. So he's a nerd to us. I don't see him playing a leading role.
It's amazing how executives have no imagination at all.
I don't have any imagination at all. When I play with my children, I just basically watch them and tell them that life is extremely disappointing.
Thank you, Bob, the executive, for stopping by.
Bob. He comes in every once in a while
to remind us just how awful executives are. According to Savage Steve Holland, John Cusack hated this movie and walked out of the film after 20 minutes during a special screening prior to the start of production on One Crazy Summer, their second collaboration. Holland said,
"The next morning, Cusack basically walked up to me and was like, you tricked me. Better Off Dead was the worst thing I ever seen. And I'll never trust you as a director ever again, so don't speak to me." He was just really upset. And I said, "What happened? What's wrong?" And he just said that I sucked, and that it was the worst thing that he had ever seen, and that I had used him and made a fool out of him, and all this other stuff. It was so out of left field that it just floored me.
Cusack completed principal photography on One Crazy Summer due to contractual obligations, but if it had not been for this, Cusack likely would not have done One Crazy Summer.
Oh, if I didn't have that contract, I wouldn't have done this. Oh, you make me so mad, Savage Steve Holland. Oh, I want to punch you.
It just blows my mind, because he's great in One Crazy Summer.
Yes. Yes, because, okay. Yeah, he's incredible. But he's a young man, and a young headstrong man.
Yes.
And a young headstrong man with a lot of creativity and smarts.
Sure.
But as a young man thinking this is going to break him out into the leading, from nerd to leading man, he probably didn't see it for what it was, which was a really great comedy and an amazing, vulnerable performance.
Oh, he was fantastic.
It was more like, you made me look like a weenie.
Right.
How I'm never going to get another leading role. Yeah. So I think it was more just fear of what he looked like instead of, because he later, he did.
Yeah, despite his initial hatred of the film, as well as director Savage Steve Holland, Cusack admitted in a 2013 interview that he does not hate the film or the making of it. While he wishes some things in it were better, he stated he feels that way about every movie he has made and is happy that it achieved cult status and remains popular. And I'm sure the fact that he keeps getting royalty checks doesn't help.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. But I get it. It's like, it's hard as a young actor, and back then too.
Yeah.
It's the 80s. So, either you're Tom Cruise Top Gun, or you're, the guy from Too Close for Comfort, playing the neighbor, It's you get pigeonholed. It's like,
no, totally. And I get it. And I'm sure that he probably thought that, with The Sure Thing, he was a lead in that and it was going to be great. And it's like, hey, it's another leading part. Like, he's not going to say no, but
I think Hot Pursuit was kind of a reaction to these movies for him. Like
Yeah.
I've got to do something more actiony or something a little
Right.
more,
I'm sure
leading manny.
I'm sure he saw himself as like, if Tom Cruise is getting these parts, why can't I?
Sure, but then I think Say Anything, he realized who he was and what his niche was, and he was
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to speak for him because I am not him, but
Sure.
But I understand what it's like to be a young actor, and he's had an amazing career.
Oh
And-
yeah. This certainly has not hurt his career at
No,
all.
it's only helped it.
Yeah. They cast David Ogden Stiers as Al Meyer, the father. Stiers made his feature film debut doing voiceover as the announcer in the first feature from George Lucas, THX 1138.
Welcome to THX 1138, everybody. Don't forget to get your souvenirs and your snacks. We're going to watch some really good robot racing.
I didn't know that was him. I had no
and
idea it was
That's
him.
not what he says, by the way.
I know that's not what he says, but I
just
just
don't want
didn't
people to
realize it was him. No,
Go into THX saying some weird robot race.
no, it is definitely not robot
It's a
racing.
very dystopian.
There's not a lot of dialogue at all.
No, back when George Lucas was kind of an activist. A lot of his stuff was really deep.
It's a great movie. It's a fantastic
It is. David Ogden Stiers was the judge at a National Shakespeare monologue competition that I did.
Oh, wow.
At the Old Globe Theater in San Diego.
Oh, wow, cool.
Nicest guy in the world.
Nice. That's awesome. Oh, I always like hearing when the actors that you like are good.
Oh, he's a sweetheart and super passionate about Shakespeare. And
Oh,
theater.
yeah. Well, he started as a Broadway actor, so it doesn't surprise me.
But just a lovely, at least back then, a lovely,
Yeah.
lovely human being. And you can only imagine how annoying I was in high school. So even lovelier.
Yeah. So he did he started doing guest spots on TV shows like Mary Tyler Moore Show, Kojak, and Rhoda. He also appeared in the pilot of Charlie's Angels. His breakout was being cast as Major Charles Emerson Winchester III on the TV show MASH.
Yeah, unfortunately, kind of the beginning of the decline of MASH.
Yeah.
Not because of him at all. He was great.
The irony is that he was still on for like 6 years.
Oh yeah,
But it
MASH had it
ran
tortured us
for-
for 6 years of just Alan Alda, heart on his sleeve, just giving it his all that there. No more funnies. MASH was great.
MASH was a great show. Yeah. It definitely got long in the tooth by the end.
Oh yeah.
Stiers has made appearances in The Cheap Detective in 1978, the quasi-sequel to Murder by Death.
Sure, excuse me, sure.
Yeah, check out our Murder by Death episode.
Oh yeah, it's magic.
And speaking of magic, he starred in Magic, the 1978 psychological horror movie directed by Richard Attenborough, written by William Goldman.
Oh baby, such a good movie.
I've never seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh my god, man! One of the first performances by Anthony Hopkins.
No
and the
way.
Creepy dummy. That's the one, right?
Yeah,
Magic
yeah,
with
yeah,
he's
yeah.
the guy he's the ventriloquist with the dummy that comes to life. Ooh, creepy. We're
Okay.
gonna put that on our Halloween list. Of
Okay,
creeps.
yeah, for sure. That sounds great. He also was in The Man with One Red Shoe in 1985, starring Tom Hanks and Dabney Coleman, which came out actually earlier that summer before Better Off Dead.
Not that great a movie. I just want to point out, I just
Yeah.
squealed.
You did.
I don't
You were
think
very
I've ever
excited
squealed.
about
I got
Magic.
extremely
That is-
excited.
You
about it.
squealed over the movie Magic.
I know, weird. I'm
It's ironic
I'm
how
growing.
how much you hate magic. I'm surprised.
do. Well, I don't. I just hate magicians.
Okay.
they're all full of themselves. Their tuxedos and their flourishes.
Stiers appeared prominently in the 1980s in the role of District Attorney Michael Reston in several Perry Mason television films and voiced a number of Disney characters during the 90s and 2000s, most notably Cogsworth in 91's Beauty and the Beast, Governor Ratcliffe in Wiggins in 95's Pocahontas, Kamaji in 2001's Spirited Away, and Dr. Jumba Jukaba in 2002's Lilo and Stitch, its sequel films, and Lilo and Stitch the series.
Nice.
He had a huge voiceover career. He appeared in television again on the supernatural drama series The Dead Zone as Reverend Gene Purdy.
Oh yeah, that's the one with.
Anthony Michael.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't bad.
It was a good show. Yeah, I didn't watch all of it, but I enjoyed it.
Neither did I, but same.
Yeah. Stiers continued to contribute voice work for films and television productions in his later years, narrating M. Night Shyamalan's Lady in the Water and having a recurring role on the animated series Regular Show.
Nice.
Stiers spent his later years as a conductor of the Newport Symphony Orchestra. The man is amazing.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he passed from complications related to bladder cancer in 2018.
F cancer, man.
Yeah.
Such a loss. He was such a great guy.
Yeah, he sounded like somebody that I would love just to hang out with, talk to. He sounds like he had great stories.
Oh yeah.
Diane Franklin was cast as Monique Junot, the mysterious French foreign exchange student. Franklin attended college for 1 year before dropping out to become a professional actor. Early in her acting career, Franklin appeared in TV commercials for Coca-Cola, Trident, Jell-O, and Maxwell House Coffee.
Nice.
At the age of 17, she appeared in 2 episodes of As the World Turns, which aired in October of 1979. Her breakthrough role was as Karen in the 1982 teen drama film The Last American Virgin.
Oh, such a deceptively... That movie, like, I remember getting that movie, like renting that movie as a kid and thinking, oh, here's another crazy Porky's teen sex comedy. No. That movie is deep.
Oh, yeah?
Do you remember last time?
I've never seen it.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't, well, I should say if I did, I don't remember.
It has, like, the most realistic, like, abortion situation going on there. Look, you have to see it because it's like, it crushed me. It's like, I went in thinking, oh, yeah, funny times. Maybe I'll get to see some boobies. And then it's just like, oh, my God. At the end of it, I wanted to kill myself. It was so, it's a good movie. It was deep. It was very, it was surprising.
Interesting. I don't think I've seen it. I definitely would remember an abortion scene.
No, it's because it's like, okay, spoiler alert for a movie that's 1 million years old, but it's basically this kid loves this girl. It's friends. It's like friend zone city.
Yeah.
And she ends up, she of course loves the a-hole or whatever. And he ends up using her and get her in her preggers. Ugh. And so then best friend Bobby McGee has to take her in for the procedure.
Abortive.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's so effed up. And it's just like, and then everything that happens afterwards is just so effed up. But it's real. It's like, somebody kind of tapped into what it's really like. And it sucks.
Man.
So, but I definitely recommend it.
All right.
And she's amazing in it.
She's great in it.
And surprisingly, she's not French.
I know, it's shocking because...
Not French.
I've seen her in so many... She plays French so often. That same year, in 1982, she played Patricia Montelli in the horror film Amityville 2, The Possession. She was given top billing in her next film, the 1984 erotic comedy film Second Time Lucky.
Yeah, I don't remember that
I don't remember that at all. As a promo for the movie, Franklin had her manager contact Dodger Stadium to see if they'd be interested in having her do an autograph signing since, the movie ends in Dodger Stadium. And
the Better Off Dead.
Okay, Better Off Dead, not for the erotic thriller or whatever. No,
really?
No, Better Off Dead ends in. So they asked her, she said, hey, let's see if they want to do some kind of collaboration. And she said,
I just kind of thought it would be fun for people because if they saw the movie and I was at Dodger Stadium, it'd be kind of like be a fun venue for everyone to come see me there.
The ballpark said no to a signing, but asked her to sing the national anthem.
What was unusual about that was when they introduced me, I thought they were going to say, and here's Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead, or here's Diane Franklin from Bill and Ted, or something. And they wound up saying, and here's Diane Franklin. And I'm thinking... Who knows Diane Franklin? Nobody knows who I am. It was so funny.
I just do want to point out that if it was to promote Better Off Dead, she hadn't been in Bill and Ted yet, so her memory might be a little fuzzy.
She did, because it's a time traveling. Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Bill and Ted's always existed. Adam.
That's true. That is true. She played Princess Joanna in the 1989 movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and has appeared as an extra or in guest roles in episodes of television series such as Bay City Blues, Matlock, and Family Law.
Now, was she the French princess in that, or was she the English princess?
I want to say I think she was the French one because I distinctly remember thinking she was French my entire life because of Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted.
You were disappointed when you met her and she was like, hey, Adam, how you doing?
To be honest, I don't think I've actually heard her without a French accent.
I'm Diane Franklin. What's up with you? I want to go to... Hey, you like playing poker? I like poker.
Make the Last American Virgin much different movie.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. Like, hey, come on.
Hey, time to go get an abortion. Let's go.
Come on, give it a gabbity. Let's go.
She also appeared in 3 television films, including a role as Jock Ewing's first wife in the 1986 film Dallas: The Early Years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In 1989, she married Ray De Laurentiis, an animation writer for shows such as The Fairly Odd Parents, and has had 2 children. I don't think he's related to the De Laurentiis clan at all.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I tried to find information of, like, oh, maybe he's his son or something, but...
Maybe he just doesn't telegraph that. That's possible. He uses the name.
Yeah. She's also published 2 memoirs and continues to act. She's fantastic in this movie.
She's
so
great. And it's great that she's still working, and she's funny, and she's cute, and she's scrappy.
She doesn't really look any different. It's really funny. It doesn't look like she's aged hardly at all.
Yeah, that's what happens with tiny people. They just continue to be tiny and cute until the day they die.
Kim Darby was cast as Jenny Meyer, the mother who can't cook.
To start, French fries, French bread, and French dressing. And to drink, Peru.
Darby began acting at age 15. Her first appearance was as a dancer in the film Bye Bye Birdie in 1963.
Bye Bye Birdie.
She was part of, her original last name was Zerby, and she was part of some, Hungarian dance troupe.
Interesting.
But dancing Zerbies or something. It was interesting. Her television work included Gunsmoke, Bonanza, and as a young girl reaching adulthood on an all-child planet in the haunting, renowned Miri episode of the original Star Trek series. If you remember that episode.
Yeah. I guess. I know it's been a while.
I've never watched the original Star Trek series.
What?
I know.
Oh my God.
Every time I bring it up, you say
gonna
that.
come punch you in the face.
I know. Among her many films are True Grit in 1969, in which she played Maddie Ross, a 14-year-old when she was 21.
She was so good.
It was so good in that movie, yeah.
And John Wayne, too, was so good in that. I think he won an Oscar for that.
I believe he did, yeah.
It was either that or the sequel, but I think it was that.
I think it was the first, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I totally, for years, I did not know that was her.
Oh,
that
really?
It was the same actress because she's so funny in Better. She's one of the funniest parts of Better Off Dead.
That character is so defined and so just it's the most unforgiving. Just yep, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing.
She is so earnest and
funny.
so serious about all of her goofiness. It's just magic every time when she's giving the Christmas and she's like, I give you, you'll go into that, but
yeah.
It's just everything about her is just so great.
She's so weird. She's just so weird, and it was so dead on. This is what I love about this movie, is that everything is so real but just slightly off.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and also getting back to David Ogden Stiers, his character is great because he's trying to understand his son.
Yeah.
He's doing his best to figure out what's going on with him and get him on the right path and be a good dad. And, it's great because a lot of the movies back then were dads that were just dicks,
Yeah, they were just, it's there. Just the stereotypical, they're absent, whatever. He actually tried.
Yes.
Knowing his son was having issues, he's like, well, I'm going to read up.
Yep.
I'm going to try to do the hip, cool lingo.
Tried to understand his wife. He was just kind of trapped in a nightmare.
He was
his life.
Surrounded by the weirdest people.
Not to mention his youngest son who never spoke. And,
yeah.
Oh, there's some problematic scenes with that young boy.
Oh, so much so. Kim Darby was also in The Strawberry Statement in 1970, set in the counterculture and student revolts of the 1960s.
Ooh.
Norwood in 1970, a comedy that reunites Darby with her True Grit co-stars Glenn Campbell, also featuring Joe Namath.
Nice.
Because why not?
Joe Namath was great. He did a lot of acting back then.
He did.
Yeah, he wasn't great, but he did a lot of acting. I was
going to say, he wasn't great. He did a lot of acting. That is true.
He wore pantyhose.
In
a commercial.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that, yeah. Norwood was based on the novel the same title, written by Charles Portis, who also wrote True Grit. And she was also in The One and Only in 1978, a comedy starring Henry Winkler, directed by Carl Reiner and written by Steve Gordon. Lane's mother's experimental cooking was inspired by Savage Steve Holland's mother, who did the same thing.
Well, back then, there was a lot of housewives, I guess you would call them, or people, people staying home, and you would get bored, and you would get these different magazines that would have recipes and such, and then just to try something new, and everybody was just like, ugh,
Jell-O.
Just make some meatloaf or something.
Things suspended in Jell-O.
Yeah, or some I'm doing the quotes French cuisine that really is, it's basically is French bread and French dressing,
right.
But it's it would always be some kind of weird thing. Yeah, exactly. Containing Jell-O and ground beef or some bizarre combination that just it wasn't good. It was not a good time.
Right. Savage Steve Holland said about his mother's cooking,
my mom would get McCall's magazine and she would find these recipes and make these things and have some excuse why they didn't taste good because she forgot something or she didn't have an ingredient.
One year for his birthday, she gifted him with some TV dinners.
She was like, and I got you these really cool frozen dinners because you like peach cobbler and this one or something. And I was like, wow, really? This is my life? It could be a lot worse, Savage Steve.
Since Better Off Dead, Darby appeared in Teen Wolf 2 in 1987 and in Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers in 1995. Amongst other things, she continues to act in film and television.
Yeah, she's great. She's just one of those quirky weirdos that keeps on going. She's awesome.
She's so good.
Her acting, I don't know if in real life. I think she's in person a quirky weirdo. I've never met the woman.
She plays very well. She's a very good actor. Very good. Curtis Armstrong was cast as Charles DeMar.
Yeah. Booger.
His first film role came in 1983's Risky Business.
Come on, Joel.
Tom Cruise.
Joel, come on. Let's take the car, Joel.
In fact, Savage Steve Holland cast him as Charles DeMar after seeing him in Risky Business.
He was so good in Risky Business. He's my favorite part of Risky Business.
Oh, yeah.
He is just so... He's just that friend that is the egg or hunter until the S goes down, and then it's like, I'm not really a part of this. He was just so well done. Such a good actor, that guy.
Oh, he's fantastic. He is best known for his role as Booger in Revenge of the Nerds and its sequel, Revenge of the Nerds 2, Nerds in Paradise, as well as the 2 TV movie sequels, 1992's Revenge of the Nerds 3, The Next Generation, and 1994's Revenge of the Nerds 4, Nerds in Love.
Nerds in Love. Yeah, those were inferior to the first one, but
really,
don't forget.
It's a strong, bold statement, Jim.
Don't forget, he was on Moonlighting as well. With
Yes, he was. He was.
That's one of my favorite parts. Poor guy. So Moonlighting, we're going to do a show on that, but it had a lot of issues with its main stars. Like there were a couple of big old babies, big old stinky babies that were making stinks all the time. So they would have to they couldn't shoot because of how awful these two were to each other. So they would have to make episodes that were just about Booger and the receptionist, Mrs. Beasley, I think, who ended up becoming a couple or whatever. And those were like some of the best episodes because you actually had people, it was like, I don't know. He was so good on that show. Good in everything he's done.
Oh, yeah. He also appeared in Savage Steve Holland's movies One Crazy Summer in 1986 and How I Got Into College in 1989.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's still acting nonstop in TV and movies. He was Metatron in Supernatural.
So good. Yeah. God's voice.
His crowning achievement, he's appearing in the upcoming Greta Gerwig film Barbie.
Is he playing Barbie?
No. No, it's what's her name?
Really?
I mean,
it's Margot Robbie. I said Marco.
Marco Robbie.
Rubio Robbie. It's Margot Robbie.
Marco Rubio was actually playing Barbie.
Nice.
Yeah. Margot Robbie is, but it makes sense. It makes me more excited to see Barbie. Amanda Weiss was cast as Beth Truss.
Yeah.
Weiss started her career in TV, appearing in an episode of Buck Rogers on 25th Century.
Buck Rogers in the 25th Century.
Hey, guys.
Oh, hey.
Colonel Wilma Darren here, just popping in from the 25th century real quick. I just want to say, what a lovely young girl. What a lovely young
Wasn't
actress.
she was nice? Yeah.
Great to work with. I think she even got me a Danish over at Craft Services once. Just a sweetheart, a sweetie pie. Okay, back to the 25th.
All right, thanks, Colonel Wilma Deering.
God, she hasn't been around in a while.
She hasn't, but I'm glad she popped in.
Yeah, she must be just listening all the time.
She did. Well, I mean, she is in the future.
Yeah, not a lot to do.
She's still listening 5,000 episodes later.
Nice. Good to know that we have some longevity. Show's got some legs in the next 5 centuries.
Eventually, we're just cryogenic heads.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Amanda Weiss made her feature film debut in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. She was fantastic in that. Please listen to our Fast Times episode for more.
Yeah, she was Judge Reinhold's girlfriend in that.
She breaks up with him, doesn't she?
No.
No.
Well, yes, it's listen to the show. But yes, it's like he has this whole plan of like breaking up with her and being on the make and hot strut because he's the hot super guy.
Yeah.
And then it all falls apart and she breaks up with him and he turns into a guy just masturbating in a bathroom.
That is the most perfect summary of Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
That's tale as old as time.
She also appeared in the original Nightmare on Elm Street as Freddy's first victim.
You're my first victim.
And apparently Savage Steve Holland is a huge fan because he purposefully put a student in the Freddy sweater in a scene she was in Better Off Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which he also apparently in How I Got Into College, the sweater makes an appearance as well.
I think he does it in a couple of things, yeah.
Yeah. Amanda Weiss continues to act in TV and film. She's still going strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron Dozier as Roy Stalin.
Wee. Wee.
It's really creepy how much you sound like him.
Hey, Blaine.
He's such a douche.
It is literally the stereotype of the mean douchey bully.
I believe he started it. I think the blonde douche, rich
Probably
archetype might have started
with
him.
Stalin.
I mean, I'm sure it goes back to like Barefoot in the Park or whatever that movie is back in the day, or Splendor in the Grass. I don't know, but still, he was perfect as just that guy that everybody hates.
Oh yeah. The second he starts talking, you just want to punch him.
Hey, Piggy.
Sorry. It's like, the really weird thing, and I tried to find so much information about him. As far as I know, he's only has one other credit. He hasn't done anything else.
Hey, baby. When you're perfect out of the gate.
It's super weird. He was in a sitcom in 1985 called Hail to the Chief, starring Patty Duke. I don't know if you remember this. She plays the president. Mm-hmm. It was rated as the most offensive show of the summer by TV Guide.
Why? Because a woman was president?
There was all these things going on. Dozier plays his son that's like in a sex scandal.
Oh.
And it's like, it was supposed to be like I think they were trying to be like a Porky's in your face, but like a sitcom on network TV.
Sure.
Like a raunchy comedy kind of thing. And it.
Well, I think what I heard was that every time he was up for something, Ted McGinley would swoop in and steal it from him. But the curse was, the McGinley curse would ruin your film. He's a pretty man.
Yeah.
But he'll take you down.
He'll take you down. That's true. Aaron Dozier actually insulted Savage Steve Holland before he auditioned for the role of Roy Stalin.
When I came in, I didn't know who Savage Steve was at first. I looked at one guy and said, "Who's the chubby kid?" And turns out he's the director.
Holland remembers Dozier interrupting him as he watched the dailies.
All of a sudden, this pompous jerk comes in and say, "Who's the fat surfer?" And I'm like, "Wow, who's this?" And they go, "Savage. This is the guy coming in for Roy Stalin." And I'm like, "You got the part. You're perfect, baby." And then Fonzie comes in. He's like, "Hey, good choice."
Yep. That's exactly
It's
how
all
it
true.
went down. 100% how it went down. Damian Slade was cast as Johnny Gasparini,
I want my $2.
$2.
$2.
When 12-year-old Slade auditioned for the role of psychotic paperboy Johnny Gasparini, he wore a leather jacket and looked serious.
I approached it as if I was a serial killer with no intention of making it funny. I brought in a headshot of me wearing a leather jacket and looking real and menacing.
During the car wash scene, he actually broke the windshield with his newspaper.
It was an accident, but I was pretty proud of myself. They had to replace it. It's not easy to crack a windshield with a newspaper, especially when you're a little kid. Hey, go-go-gdee.
Okay.
Hey, it's him, man.
Slade made an appearance in 1987's Back to the Beach, and that is the last thing that he did.
Like, this is why they had to create safety protocols, because they put a child on a car going through a car wash, and he literally broke a real windshield, and that's a child.
A child, yeah, 12, yeah.
Yeah. Savage Steve Holland should be in jail.
Scooter Stevens was cast as Badger Meyer, the little brother. Stevens did not have a single line in the entire movie.
Didn't need one. Didn't need it. He was so perfect.
He was great. He was absolutely great. His last acting credit was in 1989's She's Out of Control, starring Tony Danza, Catherine Hicks, Wallace Shawn, and Amy Dolenz.
Hey, I'm Tony Danza.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know who's the boss. Hey, I'm Fonz.
She's Out of Control was one of those movies that was on all the time.
Yeah. That was like,
I had a huge crush on Amy Dolenz.
everybody did. She was
so
cutie.
cute.
And didn't she wear glasses in that when she like
She was a
nerdy or
nerdy, and then
something?
she became hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
She just removed those glasses, and it's like, oh my god!
And you combed your hair.
It's like the Clark Kent syndrome. It's like, oh, unrecognizable. Just like she's all that, and all them. Hey, as somebody who likes to wear glasses, F off. Glasses make you cute.
Yuji Okamoto as Yi-Suk Ri.
Oh, yeah.
Okamoto made his feature film debut in Real Genius, which is one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Yeah, have we done that?
Nope.
Oh, it's coming.
It will. We will. That is probably number 2, my favorite comedy of all time. He's best known as playing Chosen in The Karate Kid Part 2.
Yeah, badass.
Oh, yeah. He was so awesome. And now he's back in, he was in the last season of Cobra Kai. I think he's going to be back for the next season.
Yeah.
too.
Oh, it's so cool to see him again.
Yeah, he was great in it, too. He's a great actor.
He was so funny in this. I know you're going to tell the story, but it just breaks my heart. Go ahead and tell the story.
Okamoto was so excited to audition for the role of the Asian brother with the Howard Cosell affectation that he studied every tape of Wide World of Sports he could get his hands on so he could practice and perfect a believable Cosell impression.
He had to get videotapes.
Yeah.
Hello, this is, and then take it out. I mean, it's not like,
No, it's not just like watching YouTube
online.
clips. Yeah.
There's work. And sometimes those old VCRs, man, those
Oh,
they
yeah,
would pop up and take
they would
your
eat
hand
the
right
tape
off.
sometime. Like, it would,
It was dangerous business.
It was hard.
Watching movies.
But he was
Sometimes
committed. He was committed. He wanted to get this part, and he wanted to perfect this role.
So awesome.
Knowing his character learned English exclusively through the sports show, he decided to add in an Asian accent to his Cosell voice.
Brilliant.
Exactly. The producer and director thought it was very funny, and he was given the role. However, in post-production, it was decided to bring in impressionist Rich Little to overdub Okamoto's voice with Little's customary Cosell imitation without the Asian accent. Okamoto said,
They explained that they wanted to make sure the audience understood the dialogue. It was a little disappointing, but hey, it's their film.
yeah, he continues to act. He's still obviously in a ton of stuff.
But the way he did it kind of made it sound. It almost sounded like there was a hint of an Asian accent.
That's
in
what
there,
I thought too.
Because
but it's Rich Little doing it, and
But Rich Little did Howard. Everybody does Howard Cosell, isn't it?
I always thought that it was him
So did I.
because I always thought there was a hint of an Asian accent.
And what's really weird, come full circle, is who is in the booth at the end of One Crazy Summer when it gets blown up?
Is it Rich Little?
Yep. Rich Little is the
totally
announcer for the
forgot
radio.
about that.
Yeah. So he actually gets him in the movie for the next one.
Nice. All right.
Worked out good for everybody except for poor Okamoto.
Yuji.
Okamoto.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian Amata was cast as Chen Ri, the brother, the other driver. Better Off Dead was Amata's acting debut despite having no lines. He's actually a professional stunt actor.
He was really funny.
He was great. He was
Their
great.
reactions. I mean, that was such a great, bizarre little bit. Just like these two. And I love his explanation. He's like, here's one for you. 2 brothers. One. And it's just like, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's like their origin story comes out and everything. It's just such a. This is why I love Savage Steve Holland, is because he just has this minutia that is so pointless and ridiculous, and yet so germane to the story and so funny. It's like nobody does absurd, or nobody was doing absurd like him. It's just, I miss his type of just wacky, I don't give an F. Let's just be, it's like Looney Tunes and stuff.
Yeah,
it's like you don't have to be completely real. It's just, I don't know. There's something about his movies that are magical.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Laura Waterbury was cast as Mrs. Smith. Waterbury was a seasoned Broadway actor, also appearing in Inner Space in 1987 and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in 1989.
Ricky! Hey, Ricky! Come over here! Why don't you come over here? Sit next to Ricky!
She's so fantastic.
She is just so. I mean, poor Rick. I understand. I 100%. They need to do a Ricky movie. Just call it Ricky, where he ends up cutting her head off, becoming a serial killer, and he just keeps her head in like a bowling bag and talks to it.
Ricky, what are you doing to those girls, Ricky?
100%. He's
And
gonna
Ricky
start
never
killing
says
people.
anything.
No,
He
no.
keeps it quiet.
You know, Mother wouldn't like that.
Yeah, but he's just quiet because he doesn't really have a lot of lines in the movie. Oh,
No,
Mother
no.
wouldn't like
He
that,
just a couple Mother things. Yeah.
But I think we should make Ricky.
But he's literally, Ricky is like Ed Gein. Like if
Yeah.
his mom died, he would start murdering people and digging up bodies. and, like,
Probably.
He
Yeah.
put his testicles all over me.
Testicles.
unfortunately, Laura Waterbury passed from Alzheimer's in 2013.
I can't imagine a worse way to go for
Yeah.
somebody who's creative and uses your brain and your mind.
So fantastic in the movie. Again, so defined as a character.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not like the character's deep or anything, but that character is so defined.
Well, no, it's like that's why having people like David Ogden Stiers and her and
A lot of
the
Broadway
True Grit
people.
lady,
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they're solid, real good actors, and they're going to define their characters and just play within that playground. But they
Commit, 100%
yeah, exactly.
commit, yeah.
Because this works so well because the characters are all they're not caricatures,
No.
and they're not stereotypes. Like the two Asian guys in the car could have been some sort of ridiculous stereotype, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's totally out of left field. It's so weird, you know.
It's
like
so weird.
Yeah, I mean the burger thing. I mean, ugh.
All of it. Yeah, agreed. Dan Schneider was cast as Ricky Smith. Schneider appeared in a number of films and TV shows in the 80s, perhaps being most well known for Head of the Class, starring Howard Hessman and eventually Billy Connolly.
Billy Connolly. That's when he took over. I really like that. Billy Connolly's not a leprechaun, by the way. but I love that show. I loved Howard Hessman.
Yeah.
WKRP was
Yeah.
one of my favorite shows growing up. I just thought he was like the coolest cat, and that was a good show. And he was pretty funny on it. And Billy Connolly didn't ruin it.
No, it was fine. I mean, it definitely, I feel like it declined, but it was still funny and it was
Whatever
good.
happened to Billy Connolly? Didn't Howard Hessman
He's still
just
around.
die recently?
Howard Hessman's not alive anymore.
Oh man.
But Billy Connolly's still around. He's still kicking.
Yeah.
Dan Schneider is the co-president of television production company Schneider's Bakery and made What I Like About You for the WB and All That, The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, iCarly, Victorious, Sam and Cat, Henry Danger, Game Shakers, and The Adventures of Kid Danger for Nickelodeon.
Damn.
Yeah, pretty much every 90s Nickelodeon show was from him.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. He also wrote the scripts for the 1997 movie Good Burger.
Good Burger. I love that movie.
I know. It's a great movie. And the 2002 movie Big Fat Liar, which is not a great movie.
Do not love that movie at all.
Nickelodeon parted ways with him in 2018 over allegations of his well-documented temper and posting pictures of his actors' feet.
Gross. Yeah, there's been some allegations.
Nickelodeon did do an in-depth
Yeah.
investigation into it, and they said that there was no sexual misconduct.
But he did ask for massages, and he did.
But he had a tendency to send really nasty emails to people and stuff that was like, okay, man.
He was a jerk.
Yeah.
He was a jerk, and he threw his, no pun intended, weight around and it's just that kind of crap. It comes from insecurity, and it's like, it just ruins things. And especially on kid shows. When you're working with kids, when you're working with young, impressionable people.
Teens and stuff,
There is no room for that kind of nonsense. So
Agreed.
Bummer Ricky.
He supposedly has a new pilot being made for somebody else.
Also, to be fair, he's denied all the allegations.
Oh, yeah. Chuck Mitchell was cast as Rocco. He was the owner of the burger place.
Rocco with Porky.
Mitchell played Porky in the 1981 movie Porky's. He would reprise the role again in 1985 sequel Porky's Revenge.
That dude has never looked more like a part in his. It was like he was chiseled out of stone. Actually, chiseled out of jello to play that part.
Yeah,
I mean, he looks like he comes right out of 1950s East Texas. Throwing a Klan hat on. You know what I mean? It's like he's got that that look. He just has that villainous.
Yeah. He actually declined to appear in Porky's 2 the next day, as he would have had to appear completely naked in the final scene.
Ugh, well, yeah,
and he saved everybody.
Thank you. All of our eyesight. We would have been like that Jason Momoa series C. That would have been the event that everybody's eyes.
Oh my God!
Just shut off. We're done.
Mitchell died in 1992 from cirrhosis of the liver at the age of 64.
Yeah, he was a drinker.
Oh yeah,
but such a great character actor.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Really good. Great. Come here. I mean, it was just funny. He just kept hitting. It kept bumping into him. Such a good guy, and really played along.
Yeah.
Well, he chewed the scenery.
Oh God, yes.
Chewing on a cigar on one side and the scenery on the other, and he was awesome to watch.
He was great. The movie also had appearances from Vincent Schiavelli as Mr. Kerber.
Yeah, you'll remember him from Fast Times at Ridgemont High as the is the biology teacher who takes them to.
Are you in my class?
I am today.
And I love his scene because and this is another a good Savage Steve Holland, like he's talking about math and they're just so enraptured.
So riveted. And they're all like,
And this is what I love about this movie, and this is what I love about Savage Steve Holland, is because it is from Lane's point of view, where he just feels totally out of place.
Sure.
And it's like everybody else is loving it, and he's like,
I don't understand
what
any
the
of this."
hell?
Yeah.
Like,
What's
it's
going on?
so brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also had Taylor Negron as the mailman.
Excuse me, Lane. Would it be weird if I asked how to...
I know you don't know me.
I know you don't know me.
That was the greatest too. Everybody, so gross. Like everybody wanted to ask out his girlfriend. Even the teacher, the math teacher was like, "Hey,
Hey, so I realize this is probably uncomfortable,
yeah,
but
super appropriate."
somewhat inappropriate, yeah. But Taylor Negron, he's making appearances in everything. I think he was contractually obligated to appear in all movies in the 80s.
Because everybody loved him. He was such a great underground comedian and improviser, and just one of those guys that they just couldn't figure out how to market him, so they would just throw him in stuff, and he would just be weird and great.
Yeah.
He was in Fast Times as the pizza delivery guy. Yeah. He was in. I'm pretty sure he's in One Crazy Summer. I think.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think he was in. Was he in 3 O'clock High? Maybe, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I think I just see him in everything.
Yeah.
Because he should be.
He should be. And E.G. Daly as herself, Elizabeth Daly. She was the lead singer in the band.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Better up
Most well known for playing Dottie in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes, and also
But she was also in Fast Times.
And she was also had a huge part in Valley Girl.
Yes. But she was a music star. Like she appeared as herself doing all this band stuff all the time.
She was awesome.
She was great.
Such a unique voice, singing and speaking.
Yeah.
Just a little cutie, just a little mushed up cutie. She's like a Pomeranian,
Yeah.
She's just adorable and funny and fierce and
fantastic.
She still shows up sometimes. I'll see her and stuff.
Yeah.
And she looks great. And she sounds great. And I wish she was in more stuff.
The hand-drawn animation in the movie was animated by Savage Steve Holland's collaborator Bill Kopp, who would later work with him on One Crazy Summer and Eek the Cat.
Eek!
Yeah, Savage Steve Holland's actually just making cartoons now.
Yeah, well, and they're great.
Yeah. The film's soundtrack was produced by Rupert Hine. Hine produced albums for artists including
Rush, Kevin Ayers, Tina Turner, Howard Jones, Saga, The Fix, Bob Geldof, Thompson Twins, Stevie Nicks, Chris de Burgh, Suzanne Vega, Underworld, Duncan Sheik, Formula, and Eleanor McAvoy. Howard Jones, I saw him in concert.
Yeah.
Thompson Twins, I loved them. I saw them in concert.
I bet they were good live. I bet Howard Jones was good live. Oh,
Howard Jones was great. He was all keyboards. He looked just like a nerd with like 80 keyboards in front of him. And we all it was one of the first concerts I went to with my friends, just my friends. Mm-hmm. And we put Knox gelatin in our hair to give ourselves like mohawks and put eyeliner on and stuff. And we all looked crazy. And but it was so much fun. I'd like to get to know you well. I'd like to get to know
He's great.
you well.
I love that he pops up all the time.
So we can be one together.
So Hines also recorded 11 albums, including those billed under his own name, the pseudo band name Think Man, and as a member of the band Quantum Jump.
Quantum Jump. Yeah.
Additionally, he composed for film and television soundtracks, including the end title song for the James Bond film GoldenEye.
GoldenEye. I don't know how it goes. Howard Jones was on the soundtrack.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Hines passed away in 2020 due to renal cancer and heart arrhythmia.
Ugh, F cancer, man.
Yeah.
It's taking all of our faves.
Yeah. A number of songs that appear in the film do not appear on the CD soundtrack, including Howard Jones' Like to Get to Know You Well,
To get to know you well.
Van Halen's Everybody Wants Some,
Everybody wants some.
which has been stuck in my head since we watched the movie. Yeah. It was used for the Burger Man rock and roll claymation number, which somehow combines... This is what I love about Savage Steve Holland. That one scene, it combines Frankenstein, a burger claymation, and Van Halen.
Yeah, and Porky's.
And Porky's, yeah. It's just so weird. The whole thing is so weird. Neil Sedaka's Breaking Up is Hard to Do.
Breaking up is hard to do.
Paul Simon's 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. And
Ways to leave your lover. Get on the bus, Gus.
yeah,
Have had a new plan, Stan.
Jimi Hendrix's "Foxy Lady" did not appear on the soundtrack either.
Aw.
I'm assuming all these just cost way too much money.
Yeah. I mean, they were able to do that back then. You could actually get songs and movies for
Right.
cheaper if you don't put them on the soundtrack.
Right.
But really, honestly, why buy the soundtrack? All the good songs
yeah.
aren't on it.
Right. Agreed.
Thumbs down for that soundtrack.
Yeah. One of the few films Siskel and Ebert featured on their show, they gave it 2 thumbs down.
Ugh.
Yeah, but they bypassed entirely in print publication in each of their respective Chicago newspapers.
F them, man.
I didn't like. Why is the burger coming to life? I like to eat burgers, not to watch them on the screen coming to life. It seems so weird.
It makes me really sad. I get Siskel. I'm really surprised Ebert didn't like it because
Yeah.
it seems like his kind of humor.
He usually has a soft spot for quirky, movies, but it's just like, it was so interesting. I get it because it is hard to make a comedy about suicide, and he
Yeah.
did it, and it is funny. And watching it again, it holds up. It is a great cult comedy.
So good. It totally holds up.
And it is so fun to watch the origins of John Cusack's
Mm-hmm.
comedy. You forget just how funny and unique he was.
Yeah.
And these movies that we're doing this month are kind of his growth and progression through comedy. And when he was just funny, and he got this type of humor, and it's such a young age. Like it's it's hard to do the kind of humor where you break the fourth wall, or it's magical,
Yeah.
or it's grounded in reality, but there's magical things happening, and to keep it like you're watching a real movie.
Right.
He does that in a way that I don't think any other young actor at the time was able to do
right.
as well. Maybe Michael J. Fox. I mean, Michael J. Fox was master. But he was more like mainstream, likable, Cusack was kind of the outsider. Cusack was kind of like the guy that's sitting in the back of the room making jokes with his friends.
Right.
While, Michael J. Fox is the guy up front, doing impersonations for everybody.
Right.
And that's the kind of, I was the Cusack kid.
Yeah.
I
get
didn't want to
that.
be class clown. I wanted to be the guy making fun of the class clown.
Right.
And that's the Cusack way.
That's the Cusack way.
If you haven't seen it, watch it.
100%. Yes.
It's definitely worth your time. If you love comedy, if you like John Cusack, if you like animation, if you like 80s tunes and skiing, it's got everything 80s.
so great.
It's got skiing, it's got drugs, it's got
I love Charles DeMar snorting Jello.
this mountain. It's pure snow. 100% pure snow.
Do you know the street value of this mountain?
It's so stupid. But yeah, I mean, it's just so much to love about it. There's so many goofy parts and
So much weirdness.
it all
so
comes
good.
together. And again, the whole bit with the French foreign exchange student and them becoming friends, and it's all very cliched now.
That's the amazing thing in this movie, is that in this movie about him wanting to kill himself because of his girlfriend, there is actually a really good romantic comedy.
Exactly.
And it's so natural and organic, the way they get together and they hang out, and like you could tell they had chemistry.
It's one of the first like quirky friendship to romance. You get rid of the pretty girl for the cute girl.
Right.
That became cliched. I mean,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
other movie
Yeah.
after this had the same story.
Yeah.
Even look, I love One Crazy Summer, but you replace skiing with a regatta, and it's the same damn movie. I
same
mean, let's
movie,
be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah,
It's got a
yeah.
lot of the same cast. But there is a place in cinema history for Savage Steve Holland and his movies.
Oh, hell yes.
A lot of things today are 100% homage or...
Oh, yeah. He inspired a lot of filmmakers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A lot.
And his kind of quirky comedy became a lot more mainstream, and he was the guy that kind of broke the barrier with that, These were weird movies. They didn't do great at the box office. Like you said, our a-hole buddies, Cisco and Jerkface, didn't like it, It didn't do well. I found it on video. I think I saw it in the theater and just adored it. Because
Yeah.
everything that I loved was in it.
Yeah.
Animation, Van Halen. I'm much of a skier, but all of that stuff, and especially like, getting your heart broken
and and falling, and it's just, it was perfect for me at the time.
Yeah.
And that's why it's going to always be one of my favorites.
It was on cable TV so much when I was between the ages like 10 and 14 that when I was young enough to watch it, I always felt like I was watching something I shouldn't be. And it was like this like, ooh, it's this like weird thing that like I shouldn't be watching, but it's so good and like it's so funny.
And such a great funny film that when it was playing on Showtime or whatever place you popped in,
Yes.
it was worth watching because it
100%.
was like a bunch of little short films that
You would
together.
know you were at a certain point and be sad that you missed the stuff that
Yes,
happened beforehand because you're like,
exactly.
well, I guess I'll just pay attention next time it's on.
It's on again in 2 hours, so I'll just have to wait.
I do want to remind you that Savage Steve Holland did all this when he was like 27. Like he was so young when he did all this, and it is brilliant. No one gives him enough credit.
No.
He did all this when he was so young.
No, and again, these stories are so good, and he also, look at the actors that he found too.
Yeah.
One of Demi Moore's first movies.
Yeah.
Where it was with him, and then John Cusack, of course.
Yeah.
He had been established, but this is what led to him doing like Say Anything in more mainstream comedies.
Right.
Because people
He
really
could be a leading man. Like he
Exactly.
proved it in this movie. Yeah.
as much as he hated it at the time because he's a little whiny.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I didn't hate it at the time, John. I loved it.
Same, man. It made me a Cusack fan.
And because of this movie and One Crazy Summer and I was gonna say Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing. John Cusack's tour de force performance and Spike Lee's masterpiece. No. Say Anything.
Say Anything. Yeah.
I will always love John Cusack.
Yeah.
I'm always going to love him, and I will watch him in anything. I recently watched he and Nick Cage in this horrible serial killer movie where he was playing. It was like a real story about the serial killer in Alaska who used to capture women and hunt them.
Oh wow.
Such a great story.
Yeah.
Horrifying because it's real, and
Right.
the victims I feel
Sure.
horribly for. But in terms of like a serial
Dramatic
killer story,
movie, yeah.
should have been really awesome. And you have Nick Cage and John Cusack.
Yeah.
And
Two
it's just-
fantastic actors.
Yeah, the director was just going to waste.
He
them.
didn't. You got to have a strong personality to be able to direct John Cusack and Nicolas Cage.
Still watchable because of those actors,
Right.
But it's like a bad TV movie.
Ugh, that's too bad.
The execution.
Well, we will be back next week with a much better than a bad TV movie.
Oh yeah.
With tape heads.
Most of you, I bet, don't even know this movie existed.
I got to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. But that's all we have for today. Hey, I'm the Fonz. Come back next time. We'll give that. I went into the garage and put an extension cord on a pipe, and I'm on a garage.
Just slow down a little bit.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. The Bionic Woman, already in progress.